Great.
Game of Thrones, Vampire Diaries, Chuck, Seinfeld, The Office, House of Cards, Sherlock, Lee or New Girl, Revenge, Sherlock BBC version, and Hannibal, Graceland, Sherlock, Entourage, Dexter, Breaking Bad, Spartacus, Royal Pains, Archer, Arrested Development, White Collar.
God, I hope you got a big DVR. Jeez. Okay, cool.
Blue's Clues as well.
Blue's Clues. Good option. Good option. All right, cool. So hopefully, before you guys duck out for lunch in a couple of minutes, you go to your area and grab not only your white piece of paper, but also the Post-it notes. And certainly you'll have everybody's name who gave you one of those Post-it notes, and you can then follow up with them, either during LBW, after LBW. You guys are going to be a network of sorts long past the end of this month, so you can reach out to each other and request help as needed. All right? But I just wanted to show you guys, in literally 20 minutes here, how powerful certainly this group is, but also how powerful this piece of this phenomenon of you giving to each other can be. You put yourself out there, each one of you, asking for help, something as basic as what TV shows should I watch, right? Perhaps some deeper things as well. I think you wanted to know whether you were going to shave off your mustache.
Don't do it.
Is that right? So, just putting yourself out there, asking for a little bit of help every so often. Okay? And certainly offering it as well. Okay, remember, when people come to you now and say, hey, you said you could introduce me to this person, or you suggested this particular show, and they follow up with you, don't be surprised, because you offered to help. All right? So, a couple final slides, and then we're going to wrap up, because I know I stand between you and the most important part of the day, lunch. All right? Remember these three folks. This is how we started, believe it or not, about an hour ago. Okay? Pretty amazing. This is where we started. Okay, Leadership 1.0 with Mr. Welch. 2.0 with Howard Schultz, 3.0 Tony Shea. Remember, we also talked about those three stats right at the start that I shared with you guys. The fact that 70% of the United States workforce is disengaged or actively disengaged from their job. And we also talked about how 38% of people feel that leaders are effectively running their companies. Okay? So those two stats combined, the simple fact that people are disengaged and they don't feel like leadership is doing a good job, produces the need for this kind of conversation about what does the new type of leader look like. And so we went through, we talked about Tony Shea in particular, that connected, nurturing, person-focused leadership style. All right? And we even went through a couple more examples. Anybody remember who this guy is? Neil. Neil, great. All right, with the glasses, Warby Parker. Neil represents empathy. We talked about that. The simple fact that he and the other co-CEO train all of the new people managers to help those people managers better support their respective minions or underlings, whatever the noun was. Their own personal and professional development is pretty special. That's empathy. Okay? We talked about this woman. Anybody remember? Eileen Fisher. Eileen represents something called inclusiveness. Remember we talked about the talking stick, sitting in a circle. We talked about young people contributing ideas that she actually goes and runs with. Pretty special. Third person. Anybody remember this guy? Stanley McChrystal. Terrific. Stanley, what does he represent? Anybody remember? Awesome. We talked about this notion of shared consciousness, this idea that he wants every single person to understand the bigger picture, and then regardless of your level, regardless of your experience, regardless of your tenure, be on the front line and in a position to make a decision in that moment without having to ask 10 layers of leaders. Okay? We talked about this woman, Miss Warrior, right? Head Mastery Warrior, okay? Works at Cisco. Anybody remember what we talked about with regard to Head Mastery? Balance, absolutely. Head Mastery does at least 4 hours every single weekend of either writing haiku, or painting, or walking, or listening to music by herself. Truly thinking inward for a little bit. Just saying, let me be with myself amid all the chaos that pervades my day-to-day and my job. And finally, we talked about Adam Grant, Wharton's youngest tenured professor, author of Give and Take. We did a little exercise that brought give and take to life. This notion of giving to help other people and giving purposefully, right? Certainly giving in this room is very purposeful because this is a very powerful network of folks, even here. You may not even realize it today, but I still email with my LBW roommate. I still have reached out to people on other coasts and introduced them to friends of mine when they want to go work at Google or go work at Blackstone. You don't even realize it, but a couple of years from now, what's that?
They started business.
Yeah, they started businesses and sold businesses for tens of millions of dollars, okay? This room, you don't necessarily even think about it right now, but you want to be friends with every single person who put up a post-it note, right? You guys want to be connected. You guys want to form a Facebook group and a LinkedIn group. You want to be in touch with each other and helping each other as much as you can. All right, all because of the shared experience. So, final idea. You can be that next 3.0 leader. We talked about the traits. This can be you. We're not saying that it's only reserved for certain people. This is yours for the taking as well. Okay? If I leave you with one kind of thought just at the end here, okay? Leaders, okay, this is where all of you come in. Leaders impel all of us to be better versions of ourselves. Okay? So leaders don't necessarily take you to some magical place. They show you that you can get there on your own. They make it possible for you to live to your fullest potential. Okay? And all the people that we talked about today, Tony Hsieh, all the way to Neil Blumenthal, Eileen Fisher, they're helping people to maximize their own potential, and consequently their companies benefit as a result of that. Okay? So I'm going to leave it there. If you guys have any questions, feel free to come up. But thank you again very much for that. All right, absolutely.
As a quick note, just a month today, we'll come back at 1:30 to do recitations. I'm going to read out your rooms, and your RTAs will let them know also, so if you don't hear anything. Alex, F86, James, F36, Jess, F38, Luke, F88, Sarah, F92, Vicky, F94. Okay, they'll tell you also if you didn't get it from Yeah, 125, 125. Let me see
Oh, good.
Two of them
Yeah.